And I'm showing the Atlanta Hawks on the road minus 3.5, and the total here 236.5 to start us off. Oh boy. Well, I guess the defense never rests if you're the Charlotte Hornets, huh? All right. This one, usually underdog series here. The underdog has covered 13 of the last 17 meetings. Atlanta kind of struggled there late getting numbers last season, but I think mostly look at the personnel between these two teams and how things shape up on the court tonight, rather than trends or long. I am interested in some long term trends in some of these series today, but uh, for me with the Hawks and the Hornets, look, this total. I guess it opened as low as 230.5. A lot of these lines opened considerably earlier than what you're going to see regularly. A lot of these lines opened weeks ago, so we've seen this one steadily climb, and I kind of feel like that's going to be the way the game goes as well today with this matchup with players like Rozier, I would think, and Washington tonight. Fernando wants to be on the Hawks here. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to like the matchups, especially for Young in this one. He should have a monster game. Murray as well. I would think there might not be much defense here in this game. Ray likes the Hawks as well. There's Thomas saying, and so does White. Thomas, you're not saying you want to get some data points on the NBA first, and before you get rolling with the plays here. Okay, no problem. I'll come. I'm coming with it. I'm coming with plays today. So all right. Yeah. So the opener maybe as low as 230.5, but in general for the books that didn't open up too early, what we saw mostly, I'd say at this point, was maybe as low as 233. I couldn't give this one out as a premium because I know it's going to be a challenge once you get into the 230s, I think, in this one. And I do, Fernando. I have to lean to the over, and it's my free play. I think here I might be interested. Like I said, maybe I like the Hawks here. I don't even know if I feel safe laying anything on the road. I think, if anything, uh, look, I'm gonna be firing on this card in this game. I think there might be a little bit more variance, and you do maybe want to see a little bit with these teams. I don't want to be, you know. I saw some other. Uh, uh, Picks, regarding some of the games, and they seem to be some of the games with teams of a higher pedigree, if you will, might be a little more stable. But I just feel like this game's going to be pretty high scoring, especially with those two. Now, I do think that believe it or not, I think the Hornets can play some defense in the front court against, guys like Hunter and Bay. Might not be as uh, strong offensively for Atlanta, but just feel, the tempo certainly is going to be there. I mean, that is in the baked in the cake here with this incredible uh, high total. And it's not the only one. And so, if anything, the totals I thought looked high to a certain extent, but further investigation might say that, yeah, maybe this one is going to be just like that. And the move to Atlanta, though, again, like I said, with some of these games, they did open uh, several weeks in advance, and we did see this line. I'd say lower here, and the move is on Atlanta as well. Maybe there is some concerns, with Charlotte. I mean, look, I think with Hayward in there and Williams in there as well, starting for Charlotte, they might be a little bit shorthanded. They do have a bit of a run on the injured list, but not a lot of, you know, they don't have impact players enough here necessarily. Here's Ferner, wants Hawks and over. So feels like those Hawks stars can have a big night. And, we made a lot of jokes at the Hornets' expense last season for their defense and their coach and what he would be saying game after game, especially earlier in the year when it was so bad. Remember, Charlotte was pretty bad last year um, as far as defense early and had the coach calling them out. So, just because it is so high at 236 and a half. I do think over is uh, in play. That's my play. I'm going over in this one with the Hawks and the Hornets. And even I, hello to Darren. Even I would be a little bit hard pressed to try to get this one in as a premium here uh, today, but I am going to go with the over, and uh, I'll just leave it at that. We'll see. We got, I will have, like I said, 5, maybe 7 premiums. I want to. I want to hit it hard. I want to hit it strong, but I was also very cocky yesterday on the Frozen Frenzy. The Washington Wizards will open up this season against the Indiana Pacers. This one, I'm showing wow, this one looks like it's moved down here from the opener. I'm showing the Pacers here -6 and the total 235 and a half. So a little bit of move here, I'd say, to the Wizards today. And in this one, take a look here. For me, I'm going to be probably leaning towards that move here with the Wizards getting the points on the road. I definitely like this a few spots on this Wizards team to get it done here today, especially the backcourt. I would think that's where they will have their best advantage offensively with Jones and with Poole on the Wizards. I think Poole will be in a good situation today. Look, against, Halliburton and Matterin, strong player, especially Halliburton. Not so much defensively. I don't know though. The total does look kind of high to me, but might be looking into that a little further down the line. I'm going to play the Wizards as my free play here. I also like Gafford in the middle here against Miles Turner. I think he can match up well and uh, do some damage here. Ferner maybe wants the Wiz. Do we still call him the Wiz? The Wizards here +6. That's where I would actually focus. I think that limiting now. Look, we know Halliburton. He's probably going to have a strong performance. I would say here, and if anything, I think in the NBA you'll get more. Not props necessarily, but I like to. I feel like I like to determine sometimes the winning play by the matchups, especially the starting lineups. So Blake, was that the Dinos game? Was that a live play? Fernando here, he wants to take the under in this one. That's the way I've got to think in this one, Fernando. Washington is going to be my play here today, but I think I'm looking more towards the under in this one. And again, I think, you're not going to get much of a contribution from, maybe from that Pacers front court. If anything, maybe that's where some of their, you know, shortcomings are, I think, at this point, right? Heading into the season with I think with Brown and with Toppin. Look, I mean, we want Toppin to find a spot. There's enough promise out there, right? To think that Toppin can, you know, progress. Hasn't necessarily been the case, but I definitely think though that for Indiana, the matchups uh, with Kuzma, probably I think Kuzma not in the best position here. Nathan says he took him at 8.5. I'm going to actually note Nathan's play here. And hello to Jim today. Saw him hanging out yesterday in the drive-through chat. I think that was yesterday or maybe the day before. Solo says he likes Jordan Poole. I've got Jordan Poole. Look, this is the problem to me. And again, I still like the under, but I'm talking down on the Pacers defensively right now, especially the backcourt. I have problems with Halliburton and Mathurin defensively, maybe more so in the effort than the execution defensively. So Wizards will be my play here. I do think the total in this one, while I do understand, just like in the last game with a high total here, I think they might have been a little bit misguided. We'll see. We'll see, and whether or not I can get involved. I didn't know. It didn't feel like it was going to be premium. So I think that's why my best play here. Like I said, if I don't get to a premium necessarily, and again, because I try to look at both, side and total with every game. That's what we do, and so for me, if I don't get to the premium, you're getting the best. You are getting the best from me as far as the side, whatever the case may be, and that's all right. Okay, I want to do well. I don't want to. Oh boy, you guys. Thank you for your patience here. Final. Okay. Oh gosh, here we go. I'm struggling here with the my equipment. I'm sorry. Stand by. Steam play. Okay. Maybe the opening night jitters for me here. The Celtics on the road going to take on the New York Knicks, and well, just watch out here. I mean, I'm right now. Now, I at least to start. We'll see what the Knicks are up to. I mean, there are still questions abound, but um, I think the Knicks defensively can be much improved, and in this familiar matchup, if you will, against the Suns. Um, it might be a spot where maybe I can fade, because the Celtics coming out just a 3-point road favorite, and this is you know an opening night situation where for me I'm probably going to try to find my way to a home dog, to an under here, and if anything, this one. I mean, let me take a look at this total because now let me see. Celtics, you even call it 3.5 right now. 3.5 now for the Celtics, and the total even up to 224.5. But for me, I don't know. I just think the Knicks should be improved defensively. I think Brunson, Grimes, these guys can definitely defend. I think Robinson, that's his game, right? I think they can match up very well. Porzingis, okay, we'll see. I'm sure he'll be fine, but going to have his hands full with Robinson, I would think here in this one. Now Brown would have a pretty strong day for me, I would think, but even Tatum might be in for a bit of because Randall and Tatum. I mean that when I think of that matchup, I'm thinking some defense here for a little bit. What do you guys think? Here comes some picks. You guys like this game a lot. Celtics for Dwight. Here's Darren. He wants the Celtics in the under. I want the under, Darren. Let's go under at least, you and I. I think you guys got the, like I said, I might be interested in a home dog to open up the season, especially if this one keeps moving. Look, I'll investigate it further. I see Circa already up to a 4 right now, And I don't know. Is there some other than what we already know? I mean, I don't think there's ever gonna. And yeah, were there some hijinks yesterday a little bit in some of the personnel? Yeah, but they're trying to do a better job of getting us the information. I didn't think it was horrible, but it was just 2 games, so we'll see what happens today with some of the personnel. In this game, I don't think there's much to worry about except Big Al. He's a game time decision, but Ray says Celtics and over. Solo's on the Knicks. Ferner's on the Knicks. He says Knicks and points and the money line. Or the line would be more. And it's only going up, right? Let's wait if we're going to be on the Knicks today, it feels like. I'm going to take the under just because I feel like, look, again, like I said, these lines opened up, a couple weeks ago, and this one was a little bit higher at some spots. And I thought this one, other than the fact that yeah, I'm touting defense in this one here. I mean, and I have some positive vibes on some of these Knicks players offensively, uh, including Brunson. I mean, Brunson, I think against Holiday, I would have to think Juan Laster. Nice to have you, Juan, here. Thank you for joining me. Pleasure to talk with you. And you like Boston money line. Seems fair. Seems the safe, but good. And right now, I wasn't not ticketing necessarily the Knicks, so I think I'm giving my best play here on the under. Fernando and I are going heads up, and that's not always great. You don't want to be going up against Fernando too often. And I'm showing this one maybe even a little bit lower. Mark Lee here today. Nice to see you, Mark. Yep, they didn't hit, right? And it kind of came back to haunt them. I want to talk to you more about but I'm in this basketball preview here. Juan might be with me here on the under. And look, I think Julius Randle and Tatum, Randle will be limited by this team. But I do think the Knicks going to be in this. Going to be great. Yep, Ferner, no doubt, no doubt. But again, and I don't, I'm not one. You guys know I'm not one to necessarily wipe the slate clean. If anything, I like looking back at historical trends, series trends. In the previous matchups between the two teams. So, these two teams last year. Remember the last game they played was a thriller. 131-129 Knicks won on the road in overtime back in March. So Knicks have covered 3 straight in this series as well. Thanks for all your plays, Juan. I'm going to get to all the picks, all the games here if you want to stick around. Probably all right, here we go. The Houston Rockets going to take on the Orlando Magic. The Magic a 4-point favorite. The total here has already dropped to 220.5 today with Rockets and Magic. And that's been kind of a move there, and I get the move. If anything, I'm all about the move here. I think in this one. Let's see. This one opened, maybe as high as 223 in the earliest lines, but I think generally with the mark, not every book opened it early, but maybe 222.5. But I see plenty of 222s and a half, 223s out there, so this one's definitely seen a little bit of a steady move to the under here to open the season with the Rockets and the Magic. And for me, look, I'm a Rockets fan. They're one of my 5 teams, 5 or 6 teams, I'd say, my favorite teams. Other than half the teams half the time, but Rockets and Magic over here for Solo. I don't know. I think Orlando's building something here. Look, I'm not saying they're going to be doing anything, even remotely close to, contending or anything like that. Here's Ray on the Rockets here. Jamal wants to go over. You guys like over in this one, and I'm respecting that move. Fernando, I'm going to put my soccer card today up. Not a premium. Maybe I'm just going to list it in the Discord. I'm scared, but I loved I smashed it yesterday, and I want to come at it today. So, all right. For me, I'm going to be on Orlando as my free play. Look, I got to respect this move to the total, you guys. I think Houston. Look, I do like Houston. I love Green. I think Green's got a shot to have a nice game here, but I don't know about the rest of the crew. Look, I have concerns about Fred VanVleet for Houston, especially going up against the Magic's guards here. I mean, Fultz. One thing Fultz does, he plays pretty decent defense in my book, and I think the Magic in the front court also. I think Banchero, he's a pest defensively. I think Wendell Carter against Sengun. I think Orlando has an edge here in this game, and Thomas Lewis, he's wearing his Orlando colors always in the picture. Darren wants the Magic. I'm going to lay the points with the Magic. Other than the fact that I maybe like the total, I kind of like the the Magic is a pretty strong play here actually in this one. I'm going to lay 4 points. I got Gary Harris will be a game time decision here. Rockets have Oladipo out. I'm going to take the Magic here as my play on the show. All right, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Brooklyn Nets on Wednesday, October 25th. And there are some injury concerns here with Cleveland coming into this one. And maybe I do want to check the injury report, but Cleveland definitely, because would they be favored by more? Let's see what if I can bring up the report here. And Darius Garland questionable, Jarrett Allen out for Cleveland. So for some people, Jarrett Allen out is sometimes a deal breaker with this team. But Cleveland here on the road in this one, total 221 now. Cleveland 1-point favorite, total 221. But look, I think for the Nets, unfortunately, I don't know if it's going to be a great season for the Nets now. Do they have some chance maybe to stay in this one? Obviously they do if it's a pick 'em here, but I've got to think that Mitchell can be in line to be the best player here on the court and have a big game in this one. And while I have more concerns about the production of my guy, Isaiah Mobley here, I think, and maybe with Max Strus in there today. Where are the Nets going to get the production from? And how are they, how are they going to? Not that the Cavs are going to be scoring an enormous amount of points. I just thought 220.5 looked a little low for these teams. I'm not sure there's a whole lot of defense with these guys. I know what Cleveland specializes in, but here's Jamal on the Cavs. And Thomas says he has his concerns with Cleveland on the road. He would like the Nets here. Fernando is on the Cavs. And look, for the Nets, Dinwiddie, he's the best option here today, obviously. Look, Claxton, I think he might be, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what's going on with Cleveland defensively in the middle. Maybe that's where the Nets can pick up the slack a little bit. Maybe Claxton, because without Allen, Claxton maybe can get his production where it needs to be in this game. I just feel like the total got a little bit too low here. If you have a game without uh, Jarrett Allen, I would think you know that's what we've seen in the past, right? When Allen, because he's kind of a player who has missed a little bit of time here and there, and he is kind of an impact offensive player. So, all right. Uh, Anyways, I'm gonna take Cleveland. I see some folks with Cleveland in there, so I think that's where I'll go with you guys a little bit. Ferner, oh that is Ferner's team. Okay, Ferner, that is your team, the Cavs. Okay, you're the Cavs representative. But look, I mean Jamal's on the Cavs. Fernando, I know Thomas said Nets, but Ray leans Cavs, and that's what it feels like. And look, I'm the Nets. They're probably in my 6 or 7 favorite teams too. For I'm not gonna give out all the reasons. Nobody cares about my favorite teams. I'm looking for winners here, and I'll take the Cavs in this one. I will say this: the over has come in 8 of the 10 previous meetings between these two teams. And Ferner says he does lean under. I thought they came too low with the total, Ferner. That's all. That's all. But Cavs games, I think about their style of play. The Detroit Pistons open up against the Miami Heat, and the Miami Heat are a 9-point favorite. The total is 219. Have these folks not heard of the Detroit Pistons? Where's my Detroit crew in here today? Why wouldn't the Pistons be able to hang in there against a Miami team that how Miami plays it? Come on. An opening game, you think Miami going to go out and blow out the Pistons by double digits? I'm not seeing it. This is almost if I didn't like the total so much, I'd probably give out Detroit as a premium. Verner is going to be on them today. I mean, come on. Cunningham, he will have a good day. Kyle Lowry, he's not going to be able to do anything anymore against a guy like Cunningham. I think Cunningham has a pretty strong day here. I think Jalen Duran has it can look good in the middle. Bam's not going to be Bam early on. He's not going to be enforcing things. Now he might be able. I think that he can have some good production. Here's Thomas. He wants to go under, and so do I think I do too. Right? Well, right. We're picking up right where we left off, Ferner. I don't want to spill the beans on this one, but here's a team that wasn't covering spreads at home last year, and here you're laying some laying points again. Bogdanovich, he's out of this one. Solo says Pistons +9. Sprinkle the money line. Sprinkle the money line, of course. Duran's got the double-double, and we're going under. That is the recipe for this game. Richardson out for Miami. That's significant because it would have been a great matchup for a guy like Richardson, I would think, against Detroit. And it could have been Ray with the Pistons. And I want the Pistons. I don't know how much of a personnel breakdown I could give necessarily on the players that I just told you, but it's going to be the Pistons for me against the Heat at 9 points for sure. Okay. Just a little fidgety here. All right. So, all right. Detroit, they didn't close very well on the road last year, just 2-7-1 against the spread. Their last 10 to end the season. Of course, they did not go to the playoffs or anything like that. So, um, it just kind of ended with a thump, of course, last year to a, a certain extent. But I'm going to take him here with Cunningham, right? I mean, this is supposed to continue to be Cunningham, and he'll. I would think, yeah, maybe that uh, Miami, those front court players can have strong games, but Lowry's feels like almost a non-factor. I don't know how deep Miami needs to go to get the production offensively that they might need to get a number here, or even make this thing get up, into the two teens. I would think the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Toronto Raptors, couple of expansion teams from back in the day, with the Timberwolves on the road here against Toronto. No McDaniels for Minnesota. They appear to have, some, could be difficulties here, but I don't know. I kind of like the spot on opening night. Now, this is just more instinct for me here, but it does seem like some positive market information, which is interesting because I kind of prefer the matchup for Toronto. But if we're going to get into a game that, let me see if this total 221 and a half, or is it higher right now? It's 223. That's interesting to me because I don't know if I'm seeing what the books are seeing here with this total, if it is on the rise. Um, like I said, with some of these openers, this one opened as high as 227 at some spots, but I'm glad it's kind of going up because I kind of thought this will be more of a defensive game, at least in terms of what that over under sits, because I think Toronto has, it's maybe it's a matter of intensity or putting forth the effort on opening night. Will they do that? I think so. I mean, I think strong defensive players throughout the line, in that lineup, and I think they have a couple of guys certainly that can have some pretty strong games. Now, Siakam, I think he's due, in a game like this against the front court of the Timberwolves with Towns or Gobert, whoever, because Podol's in there too for Toronto, and he could be fine. I think Podol, his production seems to be going up in his career here a little bit. He's not a known for his scoring or anything like that, but also with OG. But man, I'm respecting the market move here on Minnesota to be a 1 point favorite on the road. I thought I was gonna be tricky here, but I mean this line's been out a long time. There's no doubt. I mean, yeah, Toronto maybe opened a 1 point favorite or so, but it's been a toss up pretty much. So Furter wants the Raptors, Jamal wants the Raptors, Ray wants the Wolves. I'm gonna take the Wolves here. Um, do I think that the Raptors have, you know, I think they are probably still one of the best defensive teams to me moving forward, and I think that they maybe they will be better than better than advertised, if you will, because you know they've definitely have had their ups and downs. And here's Raptors and over for Ferner. So, listen, uh, Ferner and I often in agreement. We are probably complete opposite here, but I think the reason why we have good rapport between me and you guys is because we're handicapping. We're gonna end up on the same. We're doing good handicapping, but yeah, there'll be some discrepancies here on opening night. I'm sure. Thank you, Solo, for these props. Let me see what I think. Edwards over. I'm not gonna write these down. So I'm gonna just come. Let's see. Okay, I'll Solo, I'll go under there. You and I can go under there, but I'm on the Timberwolves. I know I'm not quite correlated there, but and then OG under. I'll I'm maybe going over, but I don't want to. That's why I don't ever really bet those uh, non-correlated plays myself. I don't ever want to do that too often. But I was just trying to analyze your picks in accordance to what my notes here say. So let me know what happens tomorrow, Solo. Hopefully you win, and because you're the expert here, you came in with those. I was just measuring them up against my matchup page here. So, but I do like the Wolves certainly. And Darren says when he saw the starting lineup, it had to be the Wolves. So, um, who do you think? Who? Let me see. Who's it? Who is in there for McDaniel's? We're certainly going to have Conley, Edwards, and Towns and Rudy, right? Okay, I'm on the Wolves here in this one, and we'll see about that. I feel like this is lower than that. So I'll just leave it at that. The Oklahoma City Thunder are going to take on the Chicago Bulls tonight in NBA action. Season opener here with the Thunder on the road. A 1 point. No, the Bulls. Oh, man, I got to move the little parentheses odds, copy and paste it all the way to the other side of the line because the Bulls are favored. Oh, boy, the labor involved. The Bulls here minus 1.5, one now and 227.5. They're favored against the Thunder in this one, and that total at 227.5. Huh? Okay, let's take a look. All right. In this one, look, I think Zach Levine probably could have a pretty big matchup here, I would think, against the Oklahoma City front court. And I think he's kind of my key guy in this one. I'm not sure I can even make a call on the side in this one with it being a toss up right now. Will I do something later? Yeah. Am I leaning toward the Bulls? I think maybe. Yeah, I'm leaning Bulls here. Um, Williams out for the Thunder currently, right? But I think for the Bulls, look, Levine can have a pretty strong day. I think Vucevic obviously can have a pretty good day against Holmgren. We'll see, but uh, you know, I think it's a pretty big advantage there for Vooch against Holmgren. Have concerns a little bit in the front court for the Bulls with DeRozan because Lou Dort, but that's a good defensive matchup, right? So, and Holmgren can score. I mean, here's one thing: I think Holmgren can score against Vooch, and I'm going to end up on the over in this game. I think with the Thunder and the Bulls. Do the Bulls have some decent defensive guard play? I think so. I think so, and I think DeMar, still has a little defense in him. But I'm going to take the over here at 227.5. There's room to breathe here. It's going to be a free play. Let me take a look at the market screen here because I think it can. I think gets to 230 here. I'm not ready to make a call on the side in this one, and I might get there on the side. Not maybe not for a premium, just maybe something in pocket. Um, just not sure at this point in this toss-up game. Maybe do want to see a little bit more from these teams. And we got some. Let's see what we got here. All right. I think I'm ready to leave it at that. In this one, I'm going to take the over 227.5. Where's Mr. Under today? I'm wondering. Oh well, so we had Celtics Knicks under. Okay. Furner likes the over. He says Bulls, not very confident. Solos on the Thunder. And Ray says Bulls. Solo says OG can't create. Well, we're on the other game. I don't want to go too far back. Sorry about that. Solo. Jamal on the Bulls. I think Nathan's on the under in this game. Thanks, you guys. And I'm going to take the over in this one. Pelicans and Grizzlies NBA action for Wednesday night season opener here with the Pick'em game, I guess, right? Yeah, Pick'em here, maybe a slight lean to New Orleans on the juice. Total 224 and a half. That's a pretty significant move to the under here. Hold everything. Wow, that could change. That could change the way I was going to approach this uh, pick on the show, if you know what I mean. I'm stunned by that move. Obviously, some steam has come in here. Let me see here on the under. That seems pretty significant. A 3 point move since I typed these in last night. And like I said, with these games that, had already to a certain extent, kind of the market had kind of flattened out a little bit with these games so in advance. Although I'm seeing some other moves right now that are rolling in. In fact, one game that we just talked about, boy, the moves are starting to fly in the NBA a little bit. I'm showing. Uh, I'll get to those in just a second. Choke board's lighting up. Darren wants to take the Grizzlies here in this one, and I'm on New Orleans. I'll let you know right now. Sorry, sorry, Darren. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna take New Orleans here. Um, in this one at Pick'em. And for me, I think it kind of lies in maybe Brandon Ingram here. Probably can have a pretty strong game, I would think, against a guy like Desmond Bain. I like the matchup for Ingram certainly in that one. I think Valanciunas can have a very, very strong game. I think against Jackson, no contest. Ferner says, "What's the Pelicans lineup?" I would imagine um, the way I'm seeing it here. Um, Ingram, McCollum, and uh, Zion Williamson, of course, in a tough matchup because Tillman, will be in there for Memphis, and that'll be tough for Zion, I'm sure. But uh, Jones, I would think, also for New Orleans. Alvarado starts; he's out. Murphy out. Marshall out. Memphis, certainly without Morant at this point. Adams, we saw his injury, very significant. That's really disappointing getting some news close to the season about Steven Adams here. Whether or not that's been why this game has moved down. Oh yeah, don't forget check the total steam here on this one and see when that came out. And what did I have typed in there and make sure that I didn't give you guys a wrong line, right? But I don't think we did, right? Brother. Oh gosh. Gonna have to win a new computer here, you guys. Otherwise, we'll just be sitting here with me trying to figure it out. Where is Cinna figure it out, by the way? About to throw the computer through the ceiling. Okay. All right. Here we go. No, it's 224 now for sure. There's no doubt about that. Oh, but you're saying what that steam came in? What? Yeah. Well, no, it had to come in at 227. I just was hoping to see when it came in. That's kind of important to me. Again, okay, I'll just give it out. I can't deal with this anymore. Oh, here we go. Ugh, that was the extent of my temper. And all right, I don't I don't see a major steam. So let me look one more time. I don't want to be this is my job is to make sure I give you the best line information. I pride myself on that. It did open high as 229 and a half. But that was again, like I said, a lot of these openers a while ago because of the opening game. All these lines were out much earlier. Give me New Orleans today. I'm going to take New Orleans here on the road as the uh, at a pick 'em here right now. And I got Ingram to have a big game, Valanciunas to have a big game. I think McCollum, Jones, fine. Zion, no, no, I don't want anything. I'm going to fade Zion today for sure. I would think. And for Memphis, they're just not going to have enough production in the front court. I would think. I don't like Jackson in the matchup against Valanciunas necessarily. I don't like and Zion they're fine. Jones and defensively for New Orleans, Zion, they're fine. If you can keep Zion healthy, if well, there's a lot to talk about with him. Obviously, that we can. Oops, did I just lose you guys here? No, okay. Sorry, you guys. Here we go. Give me New Orleans in this one. The Kings and the Jazz tonight. The Kings on the road here, 1.5 point favorite, and the total is 236 tonight with the Kings and the Jazz. And man, I know I think it's going to be a very high scoring game. I think this will be one of those games. I don't want to. I want to see how it flows. Okay, maybe I do want to see at least one data point. But to me, this feels like this one's going to go through the roof. This feels like it'll get to 240 points, especially with the Kings. Now I know on the road, maybe that could affect them, but come on. I mean, I think Fox, right? I think Fox has a big game here in this one, going up against a guy like Clarkson or whoever's going to be in there, and uh, pretty much up and down the Kings lineup. I like the King. Now the center matchup may be a little bit slow afoot with Sabonis and Walker Kessler. I mean, sure, Sabonis should have production, but Kessler likes to bang a little bit and mix it up, and probably can slow him down a little bit. And I don't know if Kessler is going to have that much success against um, Sabonis. So that might be a neutral. But everywhere else, I'm looking for production. I'm looking for strong games from Markkinen to get off to a big time start. THT, I think, can get off to a strong start here for Utah. And like I said, I like the Kings lineup up and down here. Duarte game time decision. Trey Lyles out. And Fox have a big day. I've got the over. This one gets to 240 for me. Um, I think even Collins can get some production there, and I think Clarkson will be okay as far as his production is concerned. But that's where I'm going with this one. I want over here in this one. Do you guys have anything with Kings and Jazz? Jamal's with me. That's what I like to see. Hmm. All right. Okay. I have more information. I'm just struggling here to get it to you. Apologies. All right, hopefully the picks will be good enough, and I will take the over in this one. I'm playing off the matchups, and again, I just wanted to throw out some more trends, but just having a little bit of technical issue. Sorry. Here we go with the Mavs taking on the Spurs in this one tonight. Mavericks coming in on the road, a 4-point favorite here in this one, and the total 230 and a half with the Mavs on the road. Luca is, believe, has an injury designation in the game. It may even be, oh gosh, may not even be able to get to the latest. Okay, of course, here we go. Questionable with that calf, Dwight Powell. Listed as questionable. He's got an illness, and so does Zach Collins for the Spurs. So that probably is going to pump the brakes a little bit on some uh, bettors early on, waiting for that information with Luca here. Whether or not it's built into the line, Mavericks here a 4-point favorite in this one. And Solo says, give me the Spurs in this one. And for me, look, I don't mind the matchups, but look, we want to at least cover the storyline with the game, right? With the debut of Victor Wembanyama. And I don't know. I kind of think he could have a pretty strong game here, actually, against the likes of maybe Williams. Um, Look at what Dallas is going to end up with in the front court with Lively and Williams. I mean, I think, look, the lineup isn't very intimidating offensively for Dallas in the back court. And Terrell, I believe I also I don't I, I will take his overs. I am on the Wemby overs here on opening night. I wonder how heavily it might be too square to play for me, but uh, my numbers say this is good. Would be nice. Zach Collins is a game time. Like I said, he has that injury designation. It certainly would help if Collins is in there. Take off some of the load in the front court. But I would think the Spurs front court against Dallas, I would think they could have a. I would think that that's where their strength would lie. I mean, if Luka's out for some reason, the Spurs might be very live in this game because of. Look, I think Johnson. I think Johnson has a big game here. I think if Collins is in there, he can definitely have a good game. There it is. There it is, Ray. You and me. This was actually a premium. This was a premium, and without Luca, I'm going to take it out of the premium now. I'm going to give it out here, whether he plays or not. The line will be adjusted. I like the spot to go over. Thomas says the spread reflects what's going on right now. And Ferner, it might be the problem with the Mavs, right? Is this guy doesn't really, you want to give him the benefit of the doubt to a certain extent because he does conduct himself pretty professionally in a way, but sometimes when you think you're above the game a little bit, I don't know what I'm trying to say about Luca here necessarily, but I'm going to go over in this one, whether he's in or not. I don't think he'll, look, will he have a fine Luca game against, Sochan? Probably. But and watch out for Sochan, man. That's our guy. I hope the Spurs, I'm, big Spurs fan across the street. I think his optimism might be too guarded. I'm high on the Spurs to make a more sudden turnaround. I think than Spurs fans are. Playoffs. I don't know about that. And Do we want it? Will we need to see big time development from Wembanyama? I think we do. But for me, I'll take the over here at 230. Feels a little bit too high to make a premium out of it now, and I'm not, the Lucas status. It feels like he'll be in there, you know, in this one. So let's go over Dallas and San Antonio. All right, we're almost done here. Last game, Blazers, Clippers. Here on Wednesday night, season opener. Just got a little bit of breaking news. Let's see here. No, no, no. Okay, Clippers minus. Yeah, that line's wrong. Sorry about that line, you guys. I know better than that. Let me fix that. -9 and 227.5. There we go. I don't know what's going on there. Start over. The Clippers at home here, a 9-point favorite. Total 227.5 against Portland here, and Mann is going to be questionable. Oh no, he's out. It looks like for the Clippers. Bones Highland game time decision, but you still have Kawhi. He's given himself the all clear, right? Healthiest I've ever been. Um, right, ready to go this year. They, changed the rules. The Jordan rules. Maybe these might be the Kawhi rules, the new rules for NBA players and how they have to play their games. And I don't know if you've seen it, but maybe this is a point where we can talk about it because I love to talk about Kawhi every time. But for me, right, the rules and what the NBA has done, you can go and Google it or whatever, and you can see there's all these little idiosyncratic rules where guys can't play star players, and those are players who are all NBA or um, certain tenured players. If you have a certain level of minutes, you can have more time. But if you have these star players, you got to put a waiver in like 2 weeks in advance. I don't know how it's going to work. What if I sprained my ankle yesterday? Well, you have to, put them on a certain. There's like a list of types of players that you can put a guy on, but you're have like little points or deductions or whatever. So it's just kind of crazy, but the NBA doing whatever they can, and I think that in season tournament, whatever they're doing, are they getting a little baseball-y here? Maybe we'll see if it works out. But there's all kinds of rules now as to when you can, and they're even saying to teams, or there's certain, I don't know if it's incentives, but they're trying to make it so that when you rest your players, you rest them at home. You rest them at home more. I think the team, saw what LeBron did last night, and for a player like LeBron, and I don't know if it was just the way the game worked out, the strategy, but the minutes played, yeah, they lost the game. They were competitive all the way, and LeBron was rested. Remember when he came to the game, he said, "Wow, LeBron's been in what was it, only 20 minutes at that point in the early four, whatever it was." Why not? Maybe these guys you could play more games and less minutes. Maybe is there? I know the preparation and all that, but we'll see. That was interesting. That's something I'm going to take note of. Can the Blazers be this bad? Well, look, this might not be a great matchup tonight to open up the season here, but it is kind of interesting because you have a guy with Ayton now on the Blazers. He certainly can, defend against Zubats. Say what you will about Ayton, and um, I like Grant. I like Grant. I like Simons. I like Scoot. I think Blazers can be. I think the Blazers can now the depth. And again these guys are kind of young too, but and the depth, is what bothers me maybe a little bit because the Clippers, if anything, um, I think they are kind of deep. We'll see here. Look, Paul George might not have the best matchup, but it just seems like in the end they should grind them down and win this one by double digits at this point. I I actually wanted to go a premium here, and I was thinking, maybe with some of the information about the Clippers, but at 9, I'll just give it out as a free play. I like the Clippers in this one. Um, I don't. I want to try the Blazers. You're going to probably see me on the Blazers a little bit early because of uh, Simons, I think, and Grant. So, and Aiden should be okay here, and I think that he can really make sure Zubats. Not that Zubats is a big contributor, but he can keep him down. And Kawhi, is he the guy you want covering your spreads? Probably not. But I think I want the Clippers here. And I'm gonna take the Clippers in the season opener here against the Blazers.